Hey, what's up, guys? I'm Thomas the Tank Engine here, and welcome back to another DVD review. And this time, I'm gonna do an 80th anniversary DVD of Engine Friends. And this time, I have my friend. Everyone, say what's up to James the Red Engine. What's up, everyone? I am James the Red Engine. Yeah. And I am really mad because there are usually no guests in his videos. He only made 5 DVD reviews and none of them got any attention. Like ever. I mean, it's not like that. But I really like doing the DVD reviews with you. So let's get right into it. Okay. So, with the intros out of the way, let's look at the episodes of Engine Friends. Let's get rolling. Keep in mind, we're only gonna look at the disc 2 of Engine Friends, not disc 1. Because there's episodes I could barely remember. Anyway, let's get rolling. So, Engine Friends has, disc 2 in this case, has 3 episodes from season 10 and 2 from season 11. And our episodes are Follow That Flower, Toby's Afternoon Off, Edward Strikes Out, Hide and Peep, and Emily in the Garbage. So let's follow the first episode of Follow That Flower. Thomas is jealous of James because he has to take a truckload of flour. So after Thomas biffs into the truck too hard, all the flour spills out, and then Thomas, in his cheeky self, thought it would be a good idea to play hide and seek with the car, so James wouldn't find it. So after James keeps running around the wharf, he catches Thomas in the act, if I must say. Thomas decides to make up for what he did, and then he asks James's help to get him a new truck of flour. I don't really know what to say about this episode. I mean, I feel like some YouTubers think that this episode is just the worst, but me, I think it's fine. I don't know if it's the worst or whatever. I mean, it's just not good. I mean, I think this is a fine episode, if anything. And besides, nothing exciting really happens here. Thomas is going around the wharf, hitting it, having a truck full of flour, and then James chases after him. Now, we all know Thomas is a cheeky little but, yeah. Sorry about that, boys and girls. Look, no pun intended, this episode is okay. I wouldn't go as far as say it's the worst, but if anything, it's not that good. Overall, Follow That Flower is a fine episode. A fine episode. Yeah. 7 out of 10. Your thoughts, James? This episode, it doesn't look like nothing's really happening here. Thomas, yeah, I agree with Thomas on this one, because this episode is also not very great. But if anything, I love it. And this episode tops it. Okay, maybe I lie a little bit. Maybe there are some issues going on here. Okay, first off, why is Thomas jealous of James? Should you feel happy for him? Come on, bro. Yeah, I don't believe this episode is that great. I mean, it's not bad, but I think it's a fine episode. maybe I give this episode a fair 5 out of 10. Next episode is Toby's afternoon off. When Sir Topham gives jobs for Toby, he does them before he goes to the farm. But then Toby is worried because he has too much jobs to do, but then he thought maybe his friends could help him. But after his friends say that he can't help him, Toby had time to go to the farm until he reached Henry. But then Toby decides to help a friend in need. Is it sad that I have to say that I just don't remember anything about this episode while we're watching it again? I mean, if I have to tell the truth here, I just feel like also nothing exciting happens here. Toby is going everywhere to ask Mavis, Thomas, and Salty to help him, and they said no because they were helping Henry. And what I can't understand is, how did Henry break down? Like, what caused him to break down? Was it like the bad coal again? Now, I'm not saying this is a great episode, because I don't think it is. Just like Follow That Flower, this episode is kind of a high bar. It's not bad, but it's alright. 5 out of 10. What do you have to say, Jameis? This episode, I actually kind of like it. I mean, it showed how... look how obvious it is how Toby's just feeling here. I mean, whatever Toby feels like happy, he knows that he's getting some attention here. But if anything, but in this episode's case, Toby just feels neglected about his friends not helping him. So, I think Toby getting upset, that is a change of heart. And, oh my god, do you feel that emotion behind that? Look, I know that people say, hey James, why do you think this episode is great? Well, whenever someone gets neglected like a younger sibling, I feel like the older one is getting so much attention than the little one. And in this case, I feel like everyone is just the older one here, and Toby's just feeling like the young one here who gets neglected. So that's why I really like this episode. Look, don't worry, folks. I'm not gonna dish anyone who doesn't like it, 'cause they don't like it when they have a reason. But I will dish them if they don't. Because if they have a reason with this episode, saying how it sucks, saying how it's amazing, it's just a feeling here. So, I think this episode is a very amazing story. And a very amazing story about Toby the Tram Engine. Now, I wouldn't go as far as to say that this is one of the best stories of season 10, because I do think that some of the episodes are pretty bad. So, this episode might get maybe a 10 out of 10. So, next episode is Edward Strikes Out. When Edward arrives at Brendam Docks, he sees a breakdown train for the first time. And then, Gordon, being the big drama queen that he is, Edward thinks Rocky is newfangled nonsense. So, he was being rude to him. And when Edward stopped too quickly, when you know it, the pipes spilled out of the trucks. So when Edward is racing back to Brendam Docks, he decides to tell Rocky that all the others need help. Oh, okay. If you think reviewing Push Me Pull You is bad, then I think reviewing this one is the worst. It tops it all. I can't believe that this episode just boils my blood so much. Edward and Gordon should know what a breakdown train looks like. These two are not stupid. So these two should be smart enough not to call Rocky a newfangled nonsense. And even though I don't really give two about Rocky, my issue is not him. My issue, and for the first time ever, my issue is Edward. Listen, I know Edward is supposed to be wise, but I don't want to see him acting like a hole. Because classic series Edward would never behave that bad towards newbies. And a typical Edward fashion comes to an accident with his trucks because of said dumb decision to not get help from Rocky. You stupid head. And when you know it, look at this boo mother just racing down, and then he crashes into the pipes. Wow. Good job. And Edward should at least feel a tad bit sorry for Harvey if he thought he was just as inferior compared to Rocky. Well, that hadn't been stated in the episode, but I guess that what that was implying. Overall, this episode sucks. This episode sucks hard. I can't believe how out of character Edward is right now. So this is why I don't like him in this episode, and I also don't like Gordon, because he's always the one to start some type of crap. And it's the same thing we see with him. He gets in trouble. He gets a one-up by someone. And then he's back to square one. It doesn't look like he learned anything. Look, this episode is just the worst. I can't stand it. Trash, 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 trash hard, trash hard. This episode sucks. 0 out of 10. What do you think, James?
This is an episode that I just cannot stand. Like, I don't really know how they get Edward to be this dry. Like, Edward is so out of character here. Yes, I do believe that people don't care about Rocky at that point. But I think Rocky's a cool character. So I don't like how Edward is being rude to Rocky, because that's just being a Look, this episode is a ridiculous concept between Edward being disrespectful to Rocky, and to think he would have apologized to Rocky, thinking that, maybe he'll forgive him. That didn't happen. He just said he was wrong. It didn't look like he apologized at all. Look, I am just done with this episode. Permanently. Like, really permanently. I rank this episode a 1 out of 10.
Our next episode is Hide and Peep. Thomas and Percy plays hide and seek. But then Thomas decides to be a cheater and pretending that he found Percy. So Thomas tells Cranky to look for Percy. Otherwise, both him and Thomas will get into trouble. And when Thomas cheats for the third time, it was for a good reason, because they have a delivery to do. Okay. I don't believe I talk about this episode at all. I just feel like this is one of the only episodes I forgot. No, if anything, this just screams forgettable. And nothing that exciting happens here. Thomas cheats. He's not playing fair. And this is why Percy is always getting found, because he's cheating. Look, I know that people say that, oh, I don't know, Percy was being rude to Thomas. bullshit. Percy was rude to Thomas. No, Percy was upset with Thomas because of Thomas himself. He cheated, and that's why Percy had to hide. Look, I know this is one of the only episodes I forgot about season 11, but do I like it? Yes, I like it. I love this episode so much because it shows a friendship of Thomas and Percy. Overall, Hide and Peep is one of the best episodes of season 11. I love it so much. So much. 10 out of 10. James, your thoughts?
Now, this episode, it kind of makes me feel like I have nothing to say about it. I mean, it's kind of boring and nothing that exciting really happens in this one. Percy gets mad at Thomas because he cheats. Listen, I don't know why Thomas is a blind person who doesn't know how to play hide and seek. I mean, why not play a different game? Why not Biff Bash Bosh, maybe? Now, I am not trying to say that this episode is that good. I mean, if anything, I feel like this is one of the middle episodes of season 11. I think the first episode that kind of comes up on top is Henry's Lucky Day. Now, what does piss me off is how Thomas does not know how to play this game. You gotta play fair, bro. Look, this episode is not the best. It's still in the middle. I mean, I can kind of see why Thomas cheated, because sometimes some people don't know how to play hide and seek in any cases. But, do I like this episode? I guess it's okay. It's fine for the most part. And I love the joke that Thomas says that Cranky is way too big to be a good hider. Look, this episode is kind of gives a pass. Maybe a pass. I kind of give this episode, I guess a 4 out of 10.
And now we have our final episode, Emily in the Garbage, or Emily's Rubbish for the UK fans. When Emily is assigned to work with a new agent called Whiff, she doesn't want to work with him because he's a bit smelly.
Happily. My name's Whiff, because I'm a bit smelly. You're going to help me collect garbage.
And when Emily escapes from Whiff, she was relieved. And then, when she tries to move the garbage cars away from Spencer's line, she realized that she does need Whiff's help. Okay, let me start up by saying, what the actual is this episode? This episode is garbage. Like, completely garbage. Now, I wouldn't go as far as to say that Emily is being a ditch in this one. I mean, she has been a ditch before. And not only this episode is kind of terrible, but I just feel like there's not really that much to explain in this one. What are we actually watching here? I mean, all I'm looking at is just Emily trying to get her behind away from Whiff because he's a bit smelly. Of course he's smelly, he's a stink engine. I mean, at least that Emily did learn her lesson now. I mean, yeah, that still doesn't save it. And Spencer here, yeah, the design-wise is pretty cool. Now, Spencer in this episode, he's a jerk. Plain simple. It's simple. Spencer is the biggest jerk I have ever known in my life. And my God, this episode is garbage as fuck. 0 out of 10. What do you think, James?
I don't really know if I like this episode. I mean, yeah, it does have some wrongs in here. First wrong is, how in the Wilbur Audrey's name did Whiff even know where Emily even was? I mean, it looked like he had a big brain, so it looked like he could just sense where Emily is even going to. Like, does that make sense? And I can't agree with Thomas with Spencer, because Spencer is just the dumbest in the whole episode here. And as for our new character, Whiff, I kind of like him. I mean, he's one of the best characters in this era, even in the Nitrogen era. And outside of this era, I don't like Emily. I mean, she's always acting like she can get her way with everything. Yeah, I feel like this episode just makes Emily feel super unlikable. Unlikable. I mean, Emily is not only a ditch, but she always is the dumbest in the whole episode. Even though Whiff is a good character, it's not gonna happen. Sorry. This episode gets a 2 out of 10 from me.
So what do we both think of Engine Friends? Well, for me, it's pretty good. And I can't tell I would recommend this or I don't. But what are your thoughts, James?
Well, I like it as well. I mean, I think this is a DVD I would totally get for my collection. So, I feel like I give this a 9 out of 10. It's not average.
Yeah. And I can agree with James here. This DVD is not very average, but it's not a terrible one either. Because there were 2 episodes I really did not like. You know, I think I only have one idea for each of these episodes. I think I have an idea for Follow That Flower. You could say that James was rude to Thomas, and maybe Thomas can put the flower all over him to make him look like a ghost and try to get a one-up on James. Maybe that would be an interesting episode. I don't really have any ideas for, Toby's Afternoon Off. So, I don't think you should skip this one. No ideas for Edward Strikes Out. This episode. As far as Hide and Peep goes, I think I only have one idea. Maybe have Thomas and Percy play a different game, and maybe Thomas could... Maybe they could play a different game. Like, maybe Biff Bash Bosh, maybe? And then when Thomas biffs a flapper too hard, it would upset Percy to make him derail, and then Thomas will have to make it up to him by taking him to the works to have him be repaired. See, that would be interesting. Emily in the Garbage. It's just trash. I can't think of any ideas for this. Sorry. Like, I just can't. And that's going to be a wrap-up for this review. I want to thank James for joining me on this DVD. And I want to thank all of you guys for joining me on this adventure of Engine Friends.
I want to thank Thomas for joining me. Even though I said he doesn't usually invite guests in his videos, I think it was kind of him to let me invite on this little project.
My pleasure entirely, James. My pleasure. See you all next time for the next DVD review. So, what's the next one? Well, I don't really know if I'll get to that yet. But we're going to look at, well, maybe a season 13 episode once again. I mean, DVD once again. Of an engine with a lion on Sodor. This looks interesting. With that all said, I hope you enjoyed this review. Again, I want to thank James for joining me. And I'll see you all in the next video. See ya!